Zepeda?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court is calling 2022 CR 9517, State of Texas versus Fernando Zepeda. Could I have parties announce for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
David A. Garcia, attorney for Fernando Zepeda, Judge.
And are you Mr. Zepeda?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea on February 2nd. And you applied for deferred adjudication. The state is silent. And they're asking that your punishment be assessed at 6 years in the prison. Did you have a chance to review the PSI report, defense,
We did, Judge.
state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report, state,
No, Your Honor.
defense?
No, Your Honor.
Any witnesses, defense,
No, Your Honor.
state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, then the court will hear argument. Why should I grant this application?
Judge, he's made a lot of mistakes. I've gotten to know his family over the last 15 years, his uncles and him. And in spite of his mistakes, he always means well. He's fallen short. I'm not excusing what he did, Judge. He seems to panic a lot when he gets into a lot of troubles. He has a fear of the police, which in some instances is good, but mostly it's bad, and it's got him into a lot of trouble. But over the course of this representation, he's been working with me to get his life back in order. He's always struggled to make his child support. He's been trying to catch up. He finally went and got himself a job at this staffing company, and he enjoys that. He's now gainfully employed. He's doing well. I can see a change in him. I'm hoping that you give him this opportunity to prove himself. And I've explained to him that if you do grant him the deferred, Judge, that if he messes up, you're more likely than not to send him away to prison for the maximum time period allowed by this case. And he understands that, and he feels confident that he can prove himself to both you, his family, and himself. And we're simply asking for that opportunity because, as I said, it doesn't excuse his huge mistakes, and he's extremely sorry for that. I think it said that in the PSI. In this instant case, it doesn't excuse it, but there was one officer that flew by him, and then he turned and drove down the road, and then saw these dark vehicles without lights chasing him, and he sped off. He should have just, I'd always told him, just drive to the nearest police department. And he panicked and did what we call stupidity and dangerous to society. He understands that, and he's extremely sorry because he's not the most verbose person. He asked me to speak on his behalf.
All right, well, I mean, he needs to start speaking because I don't understand why I should give him probation. I'm leaning towards sending you to prison. And let me explain to you why. The reason why I feel you should go to prison is I'm looking at your criminal history. In just one moment. And how old are you?
43.
All right, you're 43. I'm looking at your criminal history, and just one moment here. And let me just tell you what my issue is. All right. My issue is that you're here before me on an evading arrest.
With a vehicle.
With a vehicle. And see, from 2009, I have an evading arrest. And I'm assuming that was on foot potentially. And then the felony I have This is the court's concern. December 25th, 2002, you had an evading arrest with vehicle. You were given probation. Your probation was terminated. I'm assuming you did well on probation, or even if you didn't do well, they decide to terminate your probation. But then we come back on April 9th, and you have another evading arrest, and you were sentenced to state jail. And that was evading arrest with a vehicle. And now we're here with an evading arrest with a vehicle. And this March 20th, 2023, is that a different evading?
It is.
It's on a bicycle.
I mean, so I don't think you're a good candidate for probation. I don't think you've learned anything. You're still evading. So I don't think you're a good candidate. And I'm not going to grant your application. I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to find you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in the prison. Give you credit for any time served. I'm going to take in consideration 2022 CR 6908. Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it?
Judge, just to clarify, the cases, yes, you did the night case.
Okay,
The neighbor didn't speak on my forehead.
okay. This is the,
Judge, would it be possible for him to turn himself in on Monday so we can take care of some
no,
personal affairs?
no. Oh, I'm sorry. This goes with you as well, counsel. All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it? I'm sorry?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or an ammunition is, you need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. The problem, sir, is that you have not learned anything and you keep picking up evadings. And the fact that you are waiting to be sentenced in this court for evading, and then you pick up another evading. You got to make better choices. No, it's no longer a mistake. It's a choice. And if you have some sort of issue that makes you not want to stop when people tell you to pull over, then that's something that you'll need to address with whatever type of mental health care professional, whoever it needs to address those issues. You understand?
Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you. Who's here on Adam Morales?